3/13. October 7th, still. I just, a couple of realization. What do I want to say? What do I want to say? I'm realizing. So I just finished having a conversation with someone about friendships and this awareness that they had that the group of people they were hanging out with no longer feels good. And so there's a separation that's occurring. But now there's this self-questioning occurring of like, well, what's wrong with me? What's I don't know how to be alone yet. The loneliness is setting in. So the way that I was hearing this, I heard cycles. I was like, oh, it's a cycle. Like relationships are cycles, right? Even friendships. I just hadn't put it together. I mean, maybe I did. I just forgot about it. But I was explaining to this person, I'm just like, we keep these interactions with cycles with people over and over again until it no longer fits. But yet we still do. That was the awareness that this person had. I know that it's not a good friendship, but I'm still there. And it's because I don't know where else to go. If I go by myself, it doesn't feel good. I don't know how to make new friends, so I'm going to stay here, right? Because this feels normal. This feels safe. This is what I know. And so I explained to him that it's a cycle. And so when you retract back to yourself, it's really a mirror reflecting back to you. What is it about you that you're having a hard time sitting with at the same time? Because they are just a reflection of you. So if there's something that's happening in that friendship, right? What is happening? And is it something that you can be okay with that's being highlighted within you? Or is it something that's telling you you're maturing out of this relationship? And so it made me just wonder and self-reflect with me, right? This whole element of like looking for a tribe and knowing that I'm okay by myself. Like I love, like, I'm okay by myself. I siempre busco las cosas para entretenerme. Like I'm always entertaining myself with something. So it's never really like a major issue. I think it's every once in a while I'm like, oh, I do want some social interaction, right? I'll go out to the store. But the awareness of like, even with family, like you age out, right? It's like, well, once you used to be like, here, here's my crayon, be my best friend, right? And that was how you would be best friends. And then after that, it shifts to like, oh, we're, we like painting together, let's be best friends. Or we play on a sports team together. And then you realize, well, that's the only thing we have in common, right? So you're constantly aging out of these relationships. And then and then I was even reflecting on some of the groups of people and how that was a comment for me. Like I was constantly like aging out very quickly with relationships and friendships that there was always a point where I was by myself and I was comfortable. I learned how to be comfortable by myself because I started off by myself. Well, no, I started with siblings. Well, no, even before that I was by myself and I learned how to be comfortable by myself. And then we'd be with siblings, kindergarten by myself, had my kindy friend. And then, so I would have moments where I was always by myself and I learned how to be okay with that. Even in my last workplace, I remember I would move from pod to pod because certain pods, misery loves company. And so it was just complaining. And I couldn't complain because I understood. So it's just like, I'm not there anymore. I can't complain with you. I'm just not there. And so I would move away, right? And I'd be by myself. And so there was always, even now, like my interactions are with other people, very minimal. And then I realized a moment ago, I'm like, I feel like I connect. I have more stimulating conversations with my clients. Like And then I was trying to wonder, like, well, why is that? And then I realized it's because they want to grow. It's because they want to change. It's because they're wanting something better. And that's why I see myself in them. That's why they're familiar. That's why I feel like I know them, because I've been in their shoes, right? I know the stories that I see myself in their reflection. So I was thinking about, how it just feels good when I'm interacting with my clients, because at least the ones that I know that are striving for that and doing the work, because I also notice that the ones that are just repeating cycles, and they come to session and they just tell me how they were repeating the cycle. And I'm like, I notice that I am getting a little more triggered, not as much, but it's more like, you know what you need to do. You're just not doing it. You're not there yet. So I'm just gonna stay quiet and I'll be here and support, hold space for you, right? Until you're ready to do something different. And so with them, it's different. The ones that are really doing the work, that are listening, that are engaged, and they feel the difference, those are the ones where I'm like, I see myself in that. Like I just enjoy the conversations with them a lot more, because they're growing, and so am I, because they're reflecting back to me something that I'm like, oh wow, like, where there's this mutual learning that's occurring, even though I'm a little ahead. It's enough to where I'm not like crying in session, right? Where they're not my therapist. I'm still, ahead enough to be of support, but still learning from my clients. I love learning from other people and their experiences and seeing the patterns and stuff. So anyways, I just wanted to highlight that on friendships. Oh, and so with one of my client in particular, we were talking about be my best friend, and then the shifting to like sports, and then the shifting to now it's more of like getting comfortable within yourself. And so then I use these words, and I was like, oh, I need to remember these words. That's why I'm recording. I mentioned to this person, I'm like, you are becoming more intimate with yourself during your times of aloneness or solitude. During your times of solitude, you're building and strengthening the intimacy within yourself by learning to love and accept all of the chapters, right, in your past as how they unfolded the way they did, and you're working on learning how to take from those chapters what you need for the next chapters, for the next cycles to occur, so that you're not going into that next cycle completely blind or oblivious or naive. It's more of like, no, this is what I'm learned, so I'm prepared for what's coming next, right? So you feel more empowered, but you trust yourself. So there's the intimacy within yourself. You strengthen it. They're having some like air show thing this weekend, so they're practicing. If you can hear it, I don't know if you can hear it. But I was telling them, I'm like, you're building the intimacy within you so much so that you're also now indirectly seeking it outside of you, because that's where you are. You have this greater intimacy with you, so you're wanting to attract what matches that. Someone else, right, who has that same level of intimacy. And so where you are right now doesn't cut it anymore, because the interests are superficial. The interests are not superficial, but it was at a level where it's no longer enough. No longer enough. And you're desiring something more, which is great, right? That's how we evolve. Yeah, I just wanted to capture that so I wouldn't forget. Because it just made me reflect on, where I am, who I'm with and who I'm not with, and just how much I enjoy my alone time, my downtime. That's all.
Hey you, my name is
QB and I use she, they pronouns, and you've just finished watching a clip from my video diary entries where I'm documenting my healing journey as I learn how to navigate my spiritual awakening. I have learned that this experience and process is unique to each and every one of us in whatever way we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of formal mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself as these experiences unfold, and really inviting you along for the ride. Please know that there is a time gap between when these videos post and my real timeline, and also that these clips build upon each other similar to chapters in a book. So if you find yourself lost or confused, feel free to click on the playlist section or the link below, where you can jump around, check out the other chapters, and or catch up. Also, please know that you're more than welcome to check out my website, www.youbecominghealed.com, where I've gathered all of this information, my background, experience, and education to create online self-paced courses to help you on your healing journey wherever you are. You're also more than welcome to check out my other YouTube channel at You Becoming Healed, where I've entertained a podcast, including clips from these courses so that I can make this content accessible to more and more people. Please click like, subscribe, and share this content so again it reaches more people, with the hopes that other people will resonate and connect with the healing journey and the stories shared so that they don't feel alone in their own process. I thank you in advance. I'm grateful to you, and I wish you well.